In this session, we're going to be talking about radio. Old technology, been around for 100 years, still right there with the grasp of everybody. Very easy to listen to. It's free. That's the nice thing about it. You don't have to pay for the radio. You just go listen to it. Here are some of the formats you can listen to, and the percentage of the radio stations in the United States that broadcast these various types of entertainment and information. And you can see that we have talk radio and religious radio both about 15%, a little bit more. That's 30% of the entire market between news talk and religion. Then if we add contemporary Christian radio to that, we've got 40%. We're pushing almost 50% of the entire radio formats. But anyway, this doesn't show you anything special except how many radio stations are of these various these various formats. Okay. Very generally, the demographics, we're going to split it into two here, pretty much. The people who listen to radio the most are old people over 50. They listen the most, about not quite 15 hours a week. And the people listen at least, not surprisingly, with about 9 hours, a little more than 9 hours a week would be the young adults who are aged 18 to 34, where most of you would fit into. So, yeah, so it's not a big surprise that young people don't listen to radio as much. They listen to other things. Often they listen to the radio in their car, but it's not the radio they're listening to. It's some kind of podcast or some music that they've loaded into the radio. Okay, so let me get on to the importance. Why would radio be considered important? Well, it was the first, really think about it, it's the first mass medium where you could deliver simultaneously a message to millions of people. So it was really the first mass medium that was electronic, not like the telegraph, which was electronic but was one-to-one correspondence. This is to mass media. This is to a mass audience. So it's a powerful medium, and it has been for over a century, and it allows people to stay informed and stay connected. Now, it's a really good example of technological determinism because it helps shape culture, politics, social movements, etc. And it provides a platform for news and entertainment and, of course, for public discourse. And it's a very simple platform. It's very, it's not a very complicated one. But this is why it's important, is it has provided a platform often for marginalized people, but not always marginalized, just in general, people that want to get their information out. So the social impact of radio has been pretty substantial over the years. And the question you might ask is, what's the relevance of radio in the digital age? Because a lot of radio still broadcasts in analog. Well, the relevance is that it continues to be a medium that is easy access for people who may not have access to other media, such as television, which would be probably a more powerful medium. But it is a medium that has traditionally, like I said, broadcast to millions, and it still does. And anything that broadcasts to millions of people has got to be important. And the social impact has been that it has, through the years, changed the way people act. Now, the radio then is the first to transmit entertainment to millions of people. And it continues to grow with or without new technology. In fact, the technology that's used today is not much different than the technology used originally by this fella, who was Marconi. And he usually gets credit for being the inventor of radio, although there are other people involved. He's the one that usually people say, oh yeah, Marconi invented radio. Okay. So let's take a look at the birth of this new medium. The first radio transmissions in the late 19th century with pioneers like Guglielmo Marconi, when he was trying to develop wireless telegraphy, and this is another example of why the telegraph is so important, because people working on various inventions were really working on the telegraph. People came up with various inventions. For example, radio is one we talked about here. Telephone is another one we talked about as well, or we will talk about. Okay, in the 1920s, commercial radio really took hold. If you watch the video from YouTube I mentioned, he'll say that it started around 1910, commercial radio. That's probably right. But when you had real stations of radio stations, that was mostly it started in about 1920. The first one is apparently in the U.S. was in Pittsburgh. But anyway, these stations emerged in the 1920s, allowing information and entertainment to reach mass audiences. And this is the big deal. This is the important thing is the mass audience. That separates radio from anything that came before it. Governments and businesses quickly recognized this potential for mass communication, which led to the establishment of regulatory bodies and broadcast licensing. So immediately the government said, oh, we got to do something about keeping this thing under control, because they saw how powerful radio could be. You can see here is some example of a newspaper, but a radio, of course, would transmit this information from a newspaper live to millions of people, and could do it the day before or the 2 days before whatever the newspaper even came out. Okay. So this means that radio revolutionized the news delivery with real-time updates, making it essentially making it essential during major events. Like, for example, during World War II, leaders used radio to inform and rally citizens, while war correspondents reported from the front lines on the radio. This was huge change from how news had been reported before. Having people right there on the scene was quite a revolution. So in times of natural disasters and emergencies, radio remains a crucial medium for public safety, offering updates when other communication channels fail. It still does even today in contemporary America. When there's thunderstorms or there's hurricanes or tornadoes, you can get the information on radio. Okay, I think I should only stop here because I'm going to go into the golden age of radio, and I'm going to stop here. If you want to take a break from listening to me, we'll come back and we'll start on this slide